Throughout the years, we've gotten some strange Pokemon that look different compared to their normal counterparts we all know. They're not shinies or regional forms, so what are they? Well, some have an explanation, but others are still a mystery to this very day. Buckle in, because today we're going to be taking a look at some of these strange Pokemon. Let's start off strong with none other than Rayquaza. At first glance, you might have thought this was a shiny, but this Rayquaza isn't sporting the usual black coloring. In fact, this purple dragon is actually a fusion of Rayquaza and Miss Magius. Now, unlike some of the others on this list, this one actually has an explanation. This fusion is actually just an illusion created by Miss Magius during an episode in the Diamond and Pearl anime. Next up is the classic Pink Butterfree. This Pokemon appeared in the episode where Ash's Butterfree fell in love with this oddly colored variant. It's definitely not shiny, cause this is what a shiny Butterfree looks like. This is one of those instances where we didn't really get an explanation to it. A lot of people's assumptions are that this Butterfree came from Pinken Island, which actually brings us to our next group of Pokemon. So, Pinken Island is an island that is home to a special kind of fruit that for some reason turns the Pokemon who live there pink. The episode shows a bunch of Pokemon sporting a pink colorway such as Mankey, Weedle, Caterpie, Venonat, Pidgey, Diglett, Rattata, Nidoran, Nidoking, Vileplume, Bellsprout, Executor, Rhydon, and Rhyhorn. As you can see, this is why the fan theory of Butterfree exists. Pinken Island being its home is really the only logical answer we've got. The Golden Sudowoodo. This Pokemon appeared in the Ruby and Sapphire anime. The reasoning for its gold color, well, it underwent an experiment to make it stronger, which resulted in its gold coloring. Speaking of gold, how about Crystal? A Crystal Onyx to be exact. This Onyx not only looks completely different, but also has completely different characteristics. For starters, it's not made of rock at all, but, well, crystal. And due to that, this Onyx isn't affected by water like a normal Onyx would be. As seen in the episode, the Crystal Onyx was completely submerged in water and wasn't affected by it at all. In fact, during the episode, a Charmeleon with the move Fire Spin had to be used to even damage the Crystal Onyx. Unfortunately, we have zero explanation for this. It's not shiny, it's not a known regional form, so what exactly is it? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Next on our list is Snorlax the Snowman? First appearing in Pikachu's Winter Vacation, Pikachu and friends build a snowman that looks like a Snorlax, but to their surprise, they wake up to it being alive. In terms of an explanation, well, I say we chalk this one up to a Christmas miracle. Now, Pinken Island isn't the only bizarre island with odd-looking Pokemon. Next up is Valencia Island. Starting off the Orange Island series, Ash and friends crash land on this island home to Professor Ivy, who is studying the alternately colored Pokemon, some of which include Weepinbell, Vileplume, Paris, and Butterfree. The cause of their variations is once again unknown. Next up is a Purple Kecleon. A Purple Kecleon has appeared in both the anime and the Mystery Dungeon games, and has led a lot of fans to believe it was a shiny, but shiny Kecleon is actually still green. The only thing that changes is his red stripe turning blue. So if that's the case, what are these purple variants? The Pokemon of Pokemopolis. Ash and friends encounter a giant Gengar, Alakazam, and Jigglypuff with tribal markings said to be ancient Pokemon. But now that we have past forms in Gen 9, does this explanation no longer make sense? Now, giant Pokemon seem to be a regular occurrence back in the early days of the anime, some of which we got explanations for, such as the giant Pokemon of Pokemon Land, which turned out to just be giant robots in an amusement park, sort of like a Jurassic Park but for Pokemon. But others still remain unanswered, such as the mysterious giant Dragonite or the giant Tentacruel. Are they also robots? Are they Dynamaxed? Are they Titan Pokemon? Maybe experiments gone wrong. Who knows? Which strange Pokemon can you remember that I didn't include in this list? There's definitely a lot more. Although some have explanations, a lot of these Pokemon remain a mystery to this very day. And whether that's intentional or just some inconsistencies and bizarre ideas Pokemon would rather us forget, it's cool to try to piece together a logical explanation using information both old and new. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing. But until next time, keep exploring, keep catching, and as always, stay legendary.